Hey, what's going on? We're back once again. Episode 3 of Is That a Man? Got the same crew here with me. And we left off talking about physical affection of the word I love you. Words I care about you. Just from a male to male perspective. Not just fatherhood, but just with men, with males. And have we heard that word? And if we did, how did it make us feel? And I'll kind of start off on, we started this church 9 months ago and we had a New Year's Eve service. And I was telling some people, my dad, as Marcus talked about earlier, is a man's man. How he said, hey, I know it's your birthday because I'm your daddy. And so it was really crazy how he kind of set it up. We're in the back of the church. And I think I was talking to Jason and I was talking to somebody else. And my dad was just kind of standing around. And he started his intro with saying my name like he always does, Nathan. And I said, what's up, Daddy? He grabs me and hugs. And in that moment, I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to put my arms back around him? And he dropped his arms and walked off and didn't say anything else. And I called my brothers and I said, man, Dad hugged me today. They said, for real? What did he do? I said, he put his arms around me. And then somebody said, one of my brothers, I won't say his name, but y'all can imagine who it was. He said, you should have said, get off me, you freak. And I said, what did he say? I said, he just kind of walked off. And kind of like Marcus alluded to and Jason alluded to, it's a cool thing to see him in the back of the church. He's kind of videotaping me. And, his mom's not videotaping, I'm showing my age. He's recording me and showing it to people. And people are like, man, your dad's proud of you. He may say something like, hey, I think I'm gonna need some cards. I'm like, Daddy, what do you need some cards for? So if somebody asks me, just some cards with my name on, like, Dad, we're not giving you no cards. But I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't know what to do with it. And a lot of times people can think because your dad has never given you a hug, that was the end all be all, and you feel like you had a terrible childhood. I didn't. And he's a great man still. I just didn't know what to do with it. So what about you? Has your dad ever told you, well, we talked about the last episode, but has he ever hugged you?
Yeah, I think when my oldest was born, it was kind of like an awkward situation too, right? Because I'm over here like, wow, I'm responsible for a human now. And all of a sudden it's kind of like, proud of it. I didn't really do, but it still kind of caught me off guard too. And I think that was I think our relationship went in stages, right? So I think that was the beginning of another stage of our relationship.
Okay.
And it was kind of okay. Now,
so what would you call that stage?
Responsibility, right? Before it's kind of growing up, it's kind of okay, let's put it this way. So growing up, it's, I don't know, what would you call it?
I know, I took
raising a child.
Yeah, I took child psychology. I don't remember. My wife remembers. She's got all the books.
Those are the rearing years.
Right.
There you go. We're gonna go with that.
Right,
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and then it was okay. Then it was okay. Now he gonna make his mistakes. Right. And my dad was always good with just letting me do whatever I wanted to do. It was all right. Well, here are the base rules of the house. And if it's not a base rule deal, then whatever. And he always told me, he said, "You go to jail, I'm not coming to get you." And that was kind of always my okay, that's my line. That's my line. Anything outside of that, I'm good. But then I think when I got to that point where, when my son was born, that was the other part, the responsibility. Okay. Now our relationship was a lot different. Now it was now do you see why I was doing the things I did? Because you was clear, you're absolutely. I understand the reason why you were doing this and the third now. Yeah. All that stuff. So it definitely.
What about you, Tom?
I don't know that. I can't say it's wrong. I remember him saying I love you or getting a hug. So that's probably why my son got handshakes now.
Now, how did it affect you? Was that a negative effect? Because the thing about it is, the reason why I called it Is That a Man? Because Thomas a good man. He works. He's married. But you can be like, oh, something's wrong he has some type of emotional, and there are some people, I'm not making light of anybody who that did have a negative effect on him, but I don't always say it had a positive, but you know what I'm saying? I don't look at the other way like, oh man, you are probably, but I don't want to assume. How did that make you feel?
I would definitely say it had a negative effect, because when it comes to now raising my son, it's like I've had to figure it out as I go along.
Right.
So it's like I just had to make the mistakes and be like, I'm sorry. Or just had to be happy for the small moments that I did get right the first time.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely left me frustrated to have to figure out this whole process of having a boy and raising a boy. And we would hug him, we have a handshake. Hugs were just so awkward, and so we were like, look, we gonna come with a handshake. This like a handshake. At the end, I tell you you love me, you tell you love me. If you want to say it, if not, we got our handshake. We know what it means.
Right.
That's just all we left of that. Yeah.
So in that process, do you ever think about how you felt and try to have to kind of really process, I don't want him to feel that way?
Yeah. I definitely have to put myself in that shoe and then make sure that he don't feel that way, or just make sure that I give him that conversation, because I want him to know that, give him that affirmation that, okay, you know, I ain't trying to make you feel like this. I want you to know that this is how I feel in this moment, so that when we are having our times, you understand it better. That's what it did for me. Because
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I was just thinking about when Thomas was talking, my dad was the exact same way. Never hugs, never saying I love you. So I have a 17-year-old son. So I think I grew up, or I raised Christopher, just me being real conscious of saying, Christopher, I love you. I'm proud of you. You know, just making sure I, affirm him. And when he was little, he'll be embarrassed if I always look at him and say, who loves you? And he would say, you, Dad. And I would say, who else? Who's like Jesus? And who else? Mom. I just want him to be affirmed that, hey, his dad loves him. His dad sees him. So, yeah.
I think even to this day, if I tell my son I love him, it's probably once I got like halfway in the living room.
Yeah.
I yell
I
at him
love
across the
you.
house.
Yeah.
He gonna say, if I gotta say it first, it's always like I'm either halfway down the steps and I yell it back.
Yeah.
It's never like that looking each other in the eye or saying it as I'm cutting that light out. It's time to go to bed. It's like, all right, I'll tell you now. I'll say it now.
What about you, Mark?
So the first time, I guess I've had another male, not just my father. It was my father. It was my graduation from college, and I'm standing up there. I just got some award, and I'm standing accepting the award. Then my mother and my father, we were getting ready to walk off, and he just grabbed me and said he loved me. So I'm standing there like, it was almost like I felt so awkward, like someone smacking you. Like, I didn't know what to do. So afterwards, I kind of shrugged it off or whatever. We went on about our ways. But then as things go on, like when you had your son, and I'm looking at my sons, I'm like, man, is that what I want to do? So I'm balancing. I had this rearing of my dad, of how he showed it. Then I said, you know what? I'm gonna temper it how I would have liked it to.
What's their balance? What does the
Here's
balance look like?
the balance.
All right.
Here's the balance. So I tell my sons that I love them when I got them in the headlock.
Now, what is the headlock? What's the purpose of the headlock and the love put together?
So like
That's like peanut butter and jelly.
So what Thomas is saying, so I got him in the headlock. We ain't making eye contact, but you can feel my love.
Okay, so what's the awkward? Because we got people running out the room, people turning the light off. What's the part that's uncomfortable about the eye contact with the "I love you"
That's
from
like
a man?
the barber. You don't go to the barber when the barber gets to the front.
Straight head.
I don't want to look at another man in the eye and say, you know what, man, I love you. That's just awkward, man. That's not a good look.
So like one of the things that happened with me is that Ben grew he grew fast. So by the time he was like 8th grade, he was like 6'3". And so my wife used to say, hey, be like, Pop, y'all know my son, Pop, you gonna give me a hug? I'm like, man, I ain't hugging you, man. Come on, Pop, give me a hug. And then we'll go to the movies, and he's like, we'll go to the movies together. I'm like, man, no, I'm not going to the movies with you. And they said, Pop, come on, we'll go to the movies. And I said, okay, you sit here, and we're gonna set a seat in between. And so my wife used to make fun. Said, y'all go there and give your dad a hug. And I started punching, man, don't sit, no, don't do that. And then one day, because a lot of times, just because I do a lot of counseling, that's not big up in myself, but I'm telling everybody when I had that aha moment, we talk so much about love languages in relationships and love languages in marriage and stuff like that, that I felt like I didn't take the time to learn what's my son's love language. And I was like, okay, what's Biz? Biz is, he's gonna call you 20 times a day. Hey, Pop. Hey, what's up, son? Nothing, that's close. What you doing? Where my mama? She downstairs. Where my brother? Downstairs. Where my sister? Put my mama on the phone. Biz, she doing something. He done called her. And so I was like, okay, this is love language. I never forget the day. I was in church, and we were in front, so I'm stretching, I'm getting prepared. I'm about to go in for the kid. I'm about to make it happen today. I'm about to make it happen. I'm stretching, and I see him, and he's not looking at me, and I see him from across the room, and I ran over, and I kissed him, and I walked off, because I had to understand that the important part of the two was the recipient and not the giver. So even though I was giving love in a manner, because I quit my job to be at all his games, he was trying to wear compression shorts before they became popular, and they were like $78 a pair, and then he had to have all this stuff. So I felt like I'm doing that, I'm loving you. But I realized as a recipient, like, was he receiving that? And he wasn't. So I had to do something that was so out of my comfort zone. Now we got these cul-de-sac kids, these 3 cul-de-sac kids at home, and they tell you they love you so much, you don't want to hear it no more.
Right.
They come and check on you. Love you, Dad. Love you, Mom. Love you, Dad. Love you, Mom. Are you okay? Let me give you a hug. Ace's like, I'm going to give you a strong hug.
Right.
Ooh! Ace, so that wasn't strong enough. Oh, I can go stronger, Dad.
Right.
And so I had to become what they needed. And it was uncomfortable for a while, but I realized there was something that I had to do. And like King, with you, I know your grandfather was like a really intricate part of your upbringing. I know you said your dad wasn't there, your mom remarried again, stepdad was a good dad, but I hear you talk a lot about your grandfather and him teaching you business and how to flip homes and stuff. So was that a different relationship than the one that you had with your stepdad? Because I've never really heard you talk about your stepdad.
No.
I hear you talk about your grandfather.
Because again, I'm like very analytical, so I analyzed everything growing up. They always said, you're a child, stay in the child's place. So the only thing you can do, you cannot talk, you're being a fly on the wall, so you just listen and watch. So I observed my grandfather. It's actually my great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather.
I watched him do a lot of stuff. And growing up, they would tell me the 3-family house that we had, he built with his bare hands and all these stories. So it stuck with me, just listening and watching his mannerisms and his demeanor around the family. It taught me so much. Now on the other hand, like my stepfather, me in the car, I remember when I first got my license, I would drive in the car, seat all the way back, just like this, just because that's how I seen him drive. So it's like one of those things where I just watched and deciphering who I actually wanted to tailor my style to. And my great-grandfather was just one, because he was that pillar. I seen generation after generation. When my great-grandmother passed away, I never met her, but I never seen him bring another woman in the house. So to me, that was like the first time I see a man be loyal to a woman and put his family before his needs. Now I'm sure,
That's like back in the day. This is your Uncle Billy. This my friend.
Right.
This is my friend. Like, oh, okay.
That level of respect, man, just it puts something on.
Now, was that a process you watched and saw, or there was a conversation?
I watched it.
You watched it,
Literally everything. Right now, if I could have a conversation with the things that I'm doing right now in life with my great grandfather, I'd be a beast. I would literally remember conversations where it's just sit. He had one chair he would always sit at in the kitchen. Come in, he might say a few words to you, and you run off like a kid and go play. But it's those little things that he said, and then the things that I've seen.
Right.
Because like with my stepfather, like I seen him do a lot of different things. I seen him do good things, I seen him do bad things. And as I started to mature and become the man that I am today, I could, it's like an eat the meat, spit out the bone type of thing. Like, nah, that wasn't really good. I can't pick up that trait.
Right.
Like, I feel like we are taught like out of survival and then love. So we even taught like how to survive and then love. So like going back to the beginning of our conversation, the first time I physically had a man, like a male figure, show me love, or like it was in a setting where I didn't really, like how you were been, I didn't want to receive it. Because it's like I'm going to visit my dad in prison and he giving me a hug. He's like, son, what's up? I can't really show no joy in this type of moment. So it kind of make you turtle up. So like I would say me, I was raised like out of survival. So I didn't really show. And in my intimate relationships, growing into the man I am now, it kind of affected those because I didn't know how to like show that love physically. Like, you know, let me give you a hug, or kiss you on the hand, or hold your hand while we're walking. Like I'll be in crowds and settings and be like this, like, but I got my lady with me, so you gotta chill. Like, yeah.
So, but Marcus, I know playing college football, and you said your dad didn't come to games and stuff like that. You said he was like, "You good?" When you came home, but from what you're doing right now, from a business perspective, is that's something you said he taught you, and you talked about, me and you have had conversations about, he said, hey, look, this is this.
Right.
This is this. Why do you think that business was just his thing and sports wasn't? Or do you think he was trying to prepare you to be a man, to be a father, to be a provider?
It's a good question. So I believe sports was his thing because growing up, I hear my uncles when I go back to my dad's hometown, because he and I resemble like spitting images of each other. So when I go back to his hometown, the older guys from his generation, they used to story tell about what my father used to do, and he was very, very good. But I think what happened was, in the athletics during his era, growing up in the 50s, 60s, and stuff like that, the possibilities of having a future doing that wasn't there. So he didn't come and support that because he didn't want me to get disappointed.
Gotcha.
Because now I put all that into this athletics, and now you can't feed your family. I'm going to show you something how to feed your family.
You know what you call it?
Yeah, survival and love.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna teach you how to survive, but that's my way of loving you is in love. Like some
That's
people
good.
just want to hug. That's what he
that
did.
survival is exactly how he
love. Yeah.
So that's an interesting point. That's an interesting point, because it's like, you know, do you feel like, JD, do you feel like somebody who's trying to give you something that's really good, and Chris, I want you to jump in on this too, do you feel like it's like destroying a dream? Because like now we're here in this generation, I'm not down this generation, just different from us, but if you say, I'm trying to teach you how to do this because I see this in you, you see a lot of times, yeah, but this is my dream. Do you support a dream, or do you support what I can see when you were talking about survival. What did you call it, King?
So, the survival and love.
Survival and love. So how do you see that? Are you gonna teach them how to survive, or I'm gonna teach out of this dream until
So, to me, it's both, right? And I think that you have to have that line to where you can do both. And for me specifically, it was my dad did it himself. He's from Warren County, right? So he's one of 6. He's a baby, and he always told me, he was like, if you learn how to fix your own stuff and you grow your own food, you'll never go hungry a day in your life, right? That was he would say it all the time. He would have a garden every time. Anytime I was outside, it was like, you're gonna get out here and cut the grass. That's the reason why I do all stuff in my yard.
build stuff every day.
I build stuff. I do all that stuff because I learned that stuff from him, and now that's kind of like a hobby for me, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna build this table. Cool, I got it. I'm gonna go get the Lowe's, go get the wood, and I can do that.
Literally,
right?
he literally do that.
But to that point, like, dreams are good too, right? For a person, specifically kids or anyone in this world, if you don't have a dream, then you ultimately can be stagnant in what you do, right? You always have to have that thing that you're looking forward to. I mean, it could be on a business perspective or, on a church that we talk about all the time. It's like a dream and maybe a vision. A lot of people can say that's what it is as well, but I think that those are, two of the same things. But no, I think they both go.
So, and I want to piggyback on that in a minute. Chris, what do you think? But I want to jump on what you just said and comment. Thomas, I want to pose this question. What do you think?
Now, I was just thinking about what Jason was saying. Like my dad, he probably had a 3rd grade education, but he always said, when I was going to high school, freshman year, sophomore year, hey, you gotta go to college. You gotta go to college. And then, like, I always enjoyed teaching. And so he just always kind of like planted that seed. When you go to college, you're gonna be a teacher. You're gonna graduate college. And so I think he was trying to make sure that he spoke into me something I could do to create a profession for myself so I can support my family one day.
Gotcha.
And so, so I do that. My son is good at math, so I'm always saying, hey, you can be an engineer, you can do this, you can do that.
Is that survival? Is that teaching survival?
I mean, it could, because if that's how you were going to provide for your family. And again, I mean, if we're talking about kids and teenagers or whatever, right? And if we can identify something that maybe they don't see, and we can kind of say, hey, this is where
Nurturing that.
right?
But you're killing my dream.
Okay.
If he dies, he dies.
Mark say, I know compassion. Mark,
I got no
say?
If he dies, he dies.
So I think what Jason said was something that helped me. It made me start thinking about this concept. Is that a man?
Right.
Because the stuff you said, and y'all know this about me, but he really knows. I don't cut grass. My wife has put together everything we have in the house. I can't fix a car. I can't change a tire. I can't do stuff in the yard. So, does that make me not, because that's seen as man thing. Changing the oil to me is like, oh, I think it's low. And let's estimate a quart a dude. I don't hear no knocking no boy. And I didn't look, so that's why I came up with this thing. Is that a man?
See, so on that, my thought process on that has evolved.
Okay.
Because early on, I thought
Because just because he's MacGyver, everybody's not gonna be MacGyver.
But I thought doing those things were manly. Now, I can do those things. I can put a garage door opener up. Now,
We need to
is
talk.
that the best? But the thing about it is, now that I think about it, is that the best utilization of my time?
Right.
That's it.
That's good.
So the things that I can do, is it the best utilization of my time? It's different than your hobby. If this is what you do for an outlet
Yep.
that makes you feel good, do it.
Yeah.
But if you changing this thing or fixing this and someone else that's what they do, can do it more efficient, can do it sooner, better, that's what you should do. You should pay that person to do that task,
That's it.
and you do what you do. So now the evolution of my thought, that has nothing to do with manliness. It is all to do with efficiency.
But do y'all think that's how society brands those things?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do those things, I never thought like, oh, I'm not a man. Do you know how to do those things, Thomas?
Somehow, I don't know how to do all of them. I mean, I can change the tire, but I don't know how to change the oil. You know, I can change the battery.
masculinity.
You know,
And did you
that's-
learn? Did your dad teach you that, or you just learned because that's how your mind works?
He laid that groundwork.
Okay.
Right. And it was, again, that's stuff that comes easy for me. So okay, cool. Measure.
Gotcha.
You measure. You cut. You put it together. All that stuff is simple for me. But
So nobody had to teach you how to use Cash App like you had to teach me.
no.
Okay.
still do. but to that point, like, and I agree, like, and to your point, like, and I'm at a point now, like, society is, society's definition of manhood. So what? Who cares? Right? I surround myself with like-minded men who may not be the same as me, but have the same vision as I do. Right? Like, we all don't care about what society says a man should be. We're all comfortable within ourselves to say, I'm a man. I know I'm a man. I don't need for somebody who, you're right, who doesn't know me.
But you know what I think? What made me a sign of a man is, to me, it's something I found out about you. So we're hanging out, talking every day. I coached him, and he comes to me and says, "Hey, I'm graduating next week." I said, "From where?" "College." I'm like, "Dog, you wear a button up and a tie to work every day. What do you mean college?" He said, "Oh, when I had my son, I found out we were having a son my freshman year. I went to work at Enterprise." I said, "Oh, so you started out washing cars? Because that's how you started at Enterprise." He's like, "Yeah, because I knew we had to have insurance."
Vision.
And I'm thinking, you're from a pretty good two-parent household, and like you're just getting your degree now? And you're 30-something. Yeah, I had to go to work. So when I think of you, I'm like, that's a dude. That's a dude.
That's good.
Like that's a man to me, because he used to walk around in his polo shirts. He was, he playing lacrosse and all that stuff. But to look up like you're in college and say, I got to go get this because I'm gonna have a son, and they need insurance. Like who's thinking about? We need. That's just his mind. We need health insurance. So I got to go wash cars. That's a dude to me. That's a man.
And that's why I say a lot of it, who cares about what other people think, right? 'Cause that was not the popular decision for me to do.
Right.
And again, my dad was always like, and it was my senior year. So I was literally a semester away. And it was like, but I gotta make this jump now. I'll go back. I gotta do this, I'll go back. So when I did all that stuff, it was like, well, why'd you do that? What, you crazy? And I'm like, well, you ain't the one that's gonna have to feed this little kid over here, and have to take him to the doctor or whatever, right? So
My responsibility.
right, that's my responsibility. So I'm gonna do it the way I think is best, and I'll be able to own that, right, wrong. So, I progressed in my career. I'm still there today, and people are like, for real? Like, yeah, I had to go do that because that's also a goal that I had was to go ahead and finish that by a certain time. So that goes back into the vision of what I did for the family at that point, but then I also had personal stuff that I needed to take care of too to make sure that I felt whole when it came to that. I didn't necessarily need to go back and do anything.
So you put your son's needs above
Absolutely. All day long.
But you came back and got yours.
All day long.
That's dope.
All day.
That's dope.
It's a task.
Finish your task.
Provide, protect.
As Thomas says, push through.
Push
And
through.
everybody's at this table
Look.
because y'all are dope and you push through. And so we're gonna come back and we'll do another episode. We're gonna talk about finances. who taught you how to do money. We'll be back.